And surprised at how easily ISIS recruits American young men to join its ranks, you should see how it works on our kids, courtesy of a video game that fashions itself, I guess, Grand Theft Auto 5. But listen up, kids. This one is for real. To our Fox Biz All-Stars, Scott Martin, Mark Serrano, and Susan Solovic. All right, Scott, now the parent companies of Grand Theft Auto, I wouldn't comment on this story. To be fair, they have nothing to do with this. But essentially what ISIS is laying out here is a tempting platform to kids to let them say, this could be you doing what you're playing. What do you do?
Well, there's not much to do, Neil. I mean, this is frightening. It's hard to stop, and it's very today. I mean, this is 21st century terrorism. ISIS has attacked the social media sphere and come out with their message. They've produced these trailer-like videos, right? Movie trailer-like videos of stuff they want to do, and now they're going to an industry, Neil, that's a multi-billion-dollar industry alone in the United States and saying, hey, kids, hey, disenfranchised teenager, hey, somebody with a couple bad ideas in their head, you like this game? Yeah, it's fun to play on the console, but how about do it for real and come join us?
Well, but that means that they've got to somehow make the kids believe that the country they're in, the authorities they know, are the bad guys, not the ones you see typically in these games, who are the bad guys, right?
Right. Well, you know, there's research that shows that this type of games, that this violence, children become desensitized to violence. So the normal reaction that we might have of the fear or we don't want to see that, we don't have those normal reactions when we're playing those video games. So, and they're kids, right? They want to be part of a movement. When I was a young person, we didn't want to have anything to do with the big man, you know, big government, whatever. We were hippies. And so it's the same kind of attraction.
So you had a different upbringing. I was just into the Galloping Gourmet. I don't know why. I just thought he was a friendly guy.
My rock star was Van Cliburn.
But you know, you wonder, to her point, whether there is something to this, because obviously ISIS has succeeded in doing what past terror groups have not, at least on this larger scale, getting a good number of disenchanted British men, French men, even a couple of Scandinavian women, to say nothing of American men, onto its cause. Who's to say they can't do the same, do this game with kids?
Well, they can. ISIS is made up of predators. Predators seek the young and vulnerable for their prey. And ISIS has invested greatly in computer software and going online
so they
to
could
seek
distort
their
the
victims.
game.
They can distort the game. You know what? The video is not really the concern. Multiplayer mode in these game consoles, where kids can play anybody on the face of the earth, I think is allowing ISIS to enter into our families' basements.
And the more violent you become on these games, the more stuff you win. So they are romanticizing this whole thing. These kids have no idea the reality of what they're walking into, but they romanticize it and they idealize it. And as I said, they're desensitized to the conflict and the violence.
And what we're going to have to do, instead of just airstrikes, is I believe that the U.S. intelligence community is going to have to create an elite team of gamers. They're going to have to, because we have to fight fire with fire.
Because no one knows these games better than they do.
Well, okay, so he can have a career.
But here's where I worry, and maybe as parents where we should worry a little bit. I know, Scott, you just had a newborn not too back, but my concern as a parent is this, and I think Susan mentioned it brilliantly. With some of these games, you have that ability, as Mark was pointing out as well, to communicate online, and then with these headphones, and you're talking to each other without a phone line here. I never know how that goes. But they're all, my boys are all talking to all their friends. Who's to say a bad guy can't get in the middle of that conversation? What do you do?
Well, there's a console in my house, Neil, that my son is not playing yet because he's 10 months old, but I'll tell you, he might be, and I think to the point brought up...
What's the console doing there? Please tell me you're not playing with it.
It's collecting dust, okay? It's just sitting there for later use, of course. You know, nothing late night when my wife goes to bed. But the point is well made. You know what, Neil? The ISIS terrorists are getting to that end user that's almost like a direct marketing push, right? Like, these kids are playing this game because they like the violence. I mean, I've played GTA 5. It's a fun game. But listen, those kids are the kids that are playing this game that might be interested in this kind of violence. They're almost getting right direct to the end product without having to do a bunch of research.
Very well put. We'll watch them closely. And that means, kids, I want you to put the thing down, and you're not using it for the rest of the week. I'll talk to you when I get home.